I used this phone for a full week on 5G and did pretty much everything you would do with your phone, like sending messages, watching YouTube, playing music, and using navigation. By the end of the week, the phone still had 8% battery left with over 20 hours of screen on time. With more moderate use, you can get 10 days out of one charge on this phone. This modular phone only costs $399 and is called the Oukitel WP300. It comes with a smartwatch that can be attached to your phone and used as an earpiece, as well as a modular light. Mo, this is Tecmo, and Oukitel sent me this device for review. This one has a few characteristics that is different than normal phones. For one, it is rugged, and for two, it has a 16,000 mAh battery. The 16,000 mAh battery, which is around 3 times that of conventional phones, together with the low power consuming Dimensity 7050 processor and an OLED display means you rarely need to charge this phone. You can also use the phone as a power bank since it supports reverse charging. This is perfect for my cycling and camping trips where I'm sometimes outside of civilization for a week. The phone is also rugged. The back is made out of metal and durable rubber. There are 2 cameras on the back and either a camping light or a watch depending on your needs. The NFC reader is also on the back. The right side of the phone houses the volume rockers, which are very clicky, and the power button, which also works as a fingerprint scanner. On top, there isn't much going on. On the other side, there is a function key that you can map to do anything you want, and the SIM card tray, which can be opened without any extra tool. You can also add an SD card there. On the bottom, there is a USB-C port that is sealed and requires a bit of effort to remove the lid, and there is no headphone jack. One cool feature about this phone is that it is actually modular. This is a design we also saw in the Oukitel WP300 Pro, but this time there is a good reason to use this feature. First, there is a watch included in the box, and you can simply attach it to the back of the device. You can remove the watch from the back and use it as an earpiece. There is also a band included in the box that you can attach to the light. You can also add the light to the back of the phone, and it works well to provide a bright light when you are outside at night. Then you can reattach the watch to the band and use it as a smartwatch for heart rate, sleep, and step tracking. The light works with the band too. You can click once to turn it on, click again to reduce it to half brightness, then another click for 1/4 brightness, and finally a last click activates SOS mode. When the light is attached to the phone, you can also use the app to control it. The light is quite bright enough that you should avoid pointing it at someone's eyes as it can flash bang you. The watch has all the basic functionalities of a smart band with one swipe. You can see a graph of your daily activity, including steps and calories. The next swipe shows your sleep information, then you can access heart rate tracking and other features such as music player, weather, and messages. You can also access settings by swiping from the top to the bottom of the screen. There is a companion app on the phone that worked with the watch. There's a band in the box and can be used to attach either the watch or the light to your wrist. Also in the box, there is a 45 watts charger with a cable, something you don't see often anymore. Since the battery capacity is large, it may take a while to charge, so it is probably best to do it overnight. The display on the phone is 120 Hz, something Apple should take note of. It is 6.7 inches and Full HD+. In my experience, the screen is bright enough for use in sunlight, like most mid-range phones these days, and I didn't encounter any touch ghosting, which can happen with some rugged phones that use LCDs. A lot of people like food delivery workers or outdoor people are using this phone, and I was pleasantly surprised that the manufacturer took that into account. It included not just GPS, but also GLONASS, Baidu, and Galileo. This means you get accurate tracking from all major satellite networks anywhere. That can sometimes be an issue with cheaper phones, but not with this one. This one has 2 cameras. One of them is the macro lens, the other is the main lens. The main lens quality is around the same as, let's say, Pixel 9a or iPhone 16e, which is a mid-range phone. The quality of the pictures is alright as long as you have decent lighting in the scene. One thing I also noticed is that since the phone doesn't apply a lot of processing, the pictures and colors often look more natural than those from other brands like Samsung or iPhone. There is a beauty mode on the camera that makes the skin a bit smoother and also makes your eyes shine. Here on the right side, Tanya has the beauty filter applied and the left one is without. There's also a portrait mode that can be used to artificially blur the background, as you can see in this picture. The camera app included a 108 megapixel mode that you can use to get sharper images. Of course, the downside of high resolution pictures is that they take a lot of space. This mode can be very useful when you want to zoom into the subject, since cropping a 108 megapixel image gives you a better result, as you can see in this instance. If you're shooting a picture of a place with high dynamic range, meaning there is a big difference between dark and bright areas like here, you can use HDR mode. The macro lens is a low megapixel one and is there in case you need to take a picture of an object from a close distance. This is also the quality of the selfie camera, and interestingly, it is wide enough to fit multiple people in the frame. Now we are testing the selfie camera on the Oukitel WP300. Also, we are testing the microphone quality on the Oukitel WP300. Do you have anything to say about this phone?
It is a brick.
It's a big phone. It's a thick boy. The videos taken by the phone can go up to 4K. The colors and white balance lean more towards magenta, and the footage is contrasty. All in all, this is not a camera phone, but for the price point, the photos and videos are decent enough. Like most rugged phones, it relies on digital stabilization, and there's a good reason for that. OIS is usually the first component to break when you drop your phone, so there is no point in adding it to a phone designed to be dropped. The phone is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 7050. This isn't the most powerful chipset out there. Roughly speaking, it is a lower mid-range chip, but since its clock rate is relatively low, it helps maximize battery life. In practical terms, it means the phone is smooth enough for daily use. Don't expect flagship level performance, but since it runs a clean version of Android without a bunch of background apps, I didn't experience much lag. The software is a clean version of Android. It's actually cleaner than even Pixel phones, with no bloatware. It also supports banking apps as far as I tested, and full Google Play services is of course supported. To access quick settings, you swipe from the right side of the screen, and if you swipe from the left side, you will open the notification center. The phone has 12 GB of real RAM and up to 24 GB of virtual RAM, which means you can also run AI applications. It comes with Gemini pre-installs as well as fun apps called AI Album, which you can use to generate images of yourself, remove objects from photos, and similar features. You can also map the function key to do various things. You can assign actions to a single click, double click, and long press. For example, I mapped the single click to open the camera and the double click to turn on the flashlight. Regarding software updates, the phone is currently on Android 15. I asked Oukitel, and they said they are already working on the Android 16 version. The phone will receive 3 major Android updates, which is great considering the price. Overall, if you follow this channel, you know I have a thing for phones with long battery life, and I always keep a rugged phone with crazy battery life as my backup when I travel. The nice thing about this one is that it is very affordable and can be a great second phone for work, whether you are a delivery person, going camping, or living or working in an area where you need the extra protection this phone provides. The cherry on top is the modularity and the fact that you can attach a watch and a camping light when you are outdoors. But this phone isn't for you if you want the best performance or the best camera. For that, you will need to spend a little bit more. Maybe get the Oukitel WP300 Pro, which I recently reviewed and you can watch next. Thanks for tuning in to Tech Mo, and I will see you in the next one.